There is a dirty secret in the automotive industry that no dealer wants you to know. It's called planned obsolescence, the idea that a vehicle is designed to last exactly as long as its warranty, and not a mile longer. In 2026, SUV prices are at an all-time high, but mechanical reliability is plummeting. We are seeing engines from top manufacturers, Ford, GM, Jeep, that are suffering catastrophic failures as early as 30,000 miles. I'm talking about timing chains that stretch like rubber band, lifters that eat camshafts, and manufacturing defects so severe they are causing engines to catch fire. Today, I am going to perform an autopsy on the 5 most unreliable SUV engines on the market. I will show you the exact part that breaks. I will show you the bill you'll be stuck with, and I will tell you exactly what to buy instead so you don't become a victim of the service department. Engine number 5, the Nissan 3.5-liter VQ35DE V6. You'll find this in the Nissan Pathfinder, the Infiniti QX60, and older Frontiers. Now, the VQ series engine is often called legendary. It's been on Ward's best engines list, but legends can die, and this one dies a slow, painful death. The fatal flaw here is the timing chain guide and tensioner system. On these engines, the plastic guides that keep the timing chain tight are prone to cracking and disintegrating. When they break, the chain gets loose. You'll hear a whining noise that sounds like a supercharger. That is the sound of your engine eating itself. But it gets worse. There is a secondary failure point called the rear timing cover oil galley gasket. In the pursuit of cost-cutting, Nissan used a paper gasket held in by weak screws. Over time, this gasket blows out. When it does, your oil pressure drops to near zero internally. But, and this is the scary part, the oil pressure light on your dash might not turn on until it's too late. You are driving down the highway, thinking everything is fine, while your bearings are being starved of oil. Suddenly, you hear a knock and it's game over. The repair? It requires dropping the entire engine out of the vehicle to access the rear timing cover. You are looking at 20 hours of labor. A $20 gasket turns into a $3,500 repair bill. And for the 2025/2026 models, while they claim to have updated the parts, we are seeing new issues with the 9-speed transmission pairing causing stalls and neutral shifts. It is a legacy engine that has outstayed its welcome. The verdict: if you are looking at a used Nissan SUV or even a new one, you have to ask yourself, do you trust a paper gasket with the life of your engine? My advice? Walk away. Buy a Honda Pilot or a Toyota Highlander. The VQ had its day, but that day is over. Engine number 4, the Jeep 2.0-liter turbocharged inline-4, found in the Wrangler, the Grand Cherokee 4xe, and the Compass. This engine represents the downsizing trend gone wrong. Jeep replaced the bulletproof 3.6-liter Pentastor V6 with this complex high-strung turbo motor to chase MPG numbers. But they introduced a manufacturing defect that is frankly terrifying. In 2024 and 2025 models, Stellantis admitted to a casting issue where sand debris from the manufacturing mold was left inside the engine block. Think about that. Sand inside your engine. As the coolant circulates, this sand is carried into the heater core and the turbocharger cooling lines. It acts like sandpaper, destroying the water pump and clogging the cooling system. The result? Rapid overheating and, in some cases, engine fires. Jeep has recalled nearly 113,000 vehicles for this, but here is the problem. You can't just fix sand inside a block. If the damage is done, the engine is toast. Beyond the sand, we are seeing premature turbo failures. This is a small engine pushing a heavy brick-shaped Jeep. The turbo is constantly spooled up, generating massive heat. Plastic coolant lines are cracking, seals are failing, and owners are being left stranded on the trail. It is a high-tech engine in a vehicle that needs low-tech reliability. The verdict: if you buy a Wrangler, buy the V6. It's slower, it's thirstier, but it won't self-destruct because of sand. The 2.0-liter turbo is a lease-only engine. Do not own this out of warranty. Engine number 3. The Land Rover Ingenium 2.0-liter diesel and gas engines, found in the Discovery Sport, Range Rover, Evoque, and Defender. If you want to know what financial suicide looks like, it looks like a used Land Rover with an Ingenium engine. This engine was supposed to be Jaguar Land Rover's savior, a modular, efficient design. Instead, it is a nightmare. The primary failure point is the timing chain. Much like the Nissan, the guides are made of weak material. But unlike the Nissan, the Ingenium engine places the timing chain at the rear of the engine, sandwiched against the firewall. When, not if, that chain snaps, it destroys the pistons and valves. To fix it, you have to separate the body from the chassis or drop the entire drivetrain. But wait, there's more. These engines are notorious for turbocharger hydrolock. The turbo seals fail, allowing coolant to leak directly into the cylinders while the car sits overnight. You go to start it in the morning, and crunch. Liquid doesn't compress. You bend a connecting rod. The cost for a new Ingenium engine from Land Rover? $15,000 to $20,000. That is often more than the car is worth. We are seeing 4-year-old Land Rovers being scrapped because the engine repair costs exceed the vehicle's value. The verdict: there is no such thing as a cheap Land Rover. If you must have one, lease it new and give it back the day the warranty ends. Buying a used Ingenium Land Rover is not a purchase. It is a donation to your mechanic's retirement fund. Engine number 2, the General Motors 5.3-liter Ecotec3 V8, found in the Chevy Tahoe, Suburban, Silverado, and GMC Yukon. This hurts to say because the Chevy small block used to be the gold standard of reliability, but GM ruined it with 3 letters, AFM, or Active Fuel Management. To save fuel, this system shuts down cylinders by collapsing the hydraulic lifters. The problem is that these lifters have a fatal design flaw. The locking pins wear out, the springs fail, and the lifter gets stuck in the collapsed position. When that happens, it stops following the camshaft smoothly and instead starts hammering it. You will hear a loud tick, tick, tick from the engine. That is the sound of your wallet dying. Once the lifter scores the camshaft, you cannot just replace the lifter. You have to tear the heads off, remove the radiator, and pull the cam. It is a $4,000 to $8,000 job. There are massive class action lawsuits moving through the courts right now covering 2014 to 2021 models. But reports of failures on 2023 and 2024 models are still flooding in. GM claims to have updated the parts, but the fundamental design remains. Until they delete this system entirely, the 5.3-liter is a gamble. The verdict: if you own one out of warranty, install an AFM disabler device immediately to keep the system from activating. If you are buying new, you are rolling the dice. It's a shame because the rest of the truck is great, but the heart is diseased. And engine number 1, the Ford 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6, the most popular truck engine in America and arguably the most frustrating. Ford has built millions of these, and for good reason. The power is addictive, but the reliability is a roller coaster. The number one enemy is the cam phasers. These are the sprockets on the front of the engine that adjust valve timing. Ford used plastic lockout pins inside these metal gears. On cold starts, oil pressure takes a second to build. During that second, the heavy valve springs thrash the phasers back and forth, shattering the plastic pins. You hear a loud rattle for 2 seconds on startup. That is the EcoBoost death rattle. Fixing it requires taking the entire front of the engine apart, a $3,000 to $4,500 job. But it doesn't end there. We also see timing chain stretch, leading to misaligned timing codes. We see turbo wastegate rattle, requiring new turbos. And we see coolant leaks from the turbo fittings. And let's not forget the 10R80 transmission it's paired with, which is famous for harsh shifts and clunking. When this engine works, it's amazing, but it is a high-maintenance diva. It requires strict 5,000-mile oil changes with full synthetic. If you treat it like an old V8 and ignore it, it will destroy your bank account. The verdict: if you are leasing an F-150, get the EcoBoost. It's fast and fun. But if you are buying a truck to keep for 10 years, get the 5.0-liter Coyote V8. It's simpler, it sounds better, and it doesn't have turbos to blow up. So, what have we learned? Complexity is the enemy of longevity. The automakers are pushing small turbo engines with cylinder deactivation to meet EPA rules, but you, the consumer, are paying the price in repairs. If you want a vehicle that lasts 200,000 miles, look for simplicity. Look for the Toyota hybrids. Look for the Honda naturally aspirated V6s. Look for the Ford Coyote V8. Do not be seduced by the horsepower numbers of these high-stress engines. But I want to hear from you. Have you suffered a lifter failure or a cam phaser rattle? Tell me your horror story in the comments. It helps warn others. I'm SUVSQUAD. Stay safe out there.